Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we got some good old critical drinker. We got The Witcher Season 4, a show so awful it broke me. Not gonna lie, I stopped watching The Witcher on I think I stopped watching it during Season 2 because I heard that while they were filming when they were done filming Season 3, that Henry Cavill was leaving and whatnot during all that drama. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna bother watching it, especially after Henry said that the reason they got rid of him was because they didn't like the fact that he wanted to stay true to the source material, and they didn't. They wanted to make it the Yennefer and Ciri show. It like speaks volumes. So it's like, yeah, I just didn't care for it after the second season. Like, shit. Yeah, I literally only saw the first 2 seasons. I know the third one has still Henry Cavill, but I didn't watch it. I was just like, I was like, he's not going to be around for the 4th season. What's even the point of continuing watching the show past, the season that I had finished, which was the 2nd? But yeah, let's get into it.
We all must suffer for our art, dear viewer. Some of us have to endure bitter physical hardships, or drastically altering our appearance, or even lose our minds entirely in pursuit of a role. But truly, all of that pales into insignificance.
Bro, I swear to God, dude, the curse of Leto continues to this day. And honestly, I was thinking back about it, because I saw someone comment that on the Tron React that we had. And it's like, oh, the curse of Leto continues because he just keeps getting these shitty roles. But I'm like, honestly, I saw a video that said that like Jared Leto is like a really piece of shit, a real piece of shit, like IRL off screen. And like he's like very entitled and he looks down on people and whatnot. So it's like maybe this is just what he gets, for being a POS human being, he gets shitty roles for being a shitty person.
Compared to what I had to endure over the weekends. That's right, I have watched Season 4 of The Witcher.
Oh man.
Wait, did they just drop the full season? Like, just outright? They didn't do the whole thing where they like drop like half the season or like release the episodes every month? Or like release half the season, then like a year later release the second half?
Oh God, oh man.
Or at least I tried to, but by all the gods and all the curses of Entish, Elvish, and the tongues of men, this one fought me every inch of the way, and in the end, I was defeated. The man who conquered Blood Origin, who took down the Acolyte, who endured the depravity of Last of Us Season 2, was finally undone by this.
Bro, can we not? Oh my God, let's not talk about how stupid it is for a woman to say, "I'm gonna be a dad," even though that's impossible. Like, bro, how retarded do you have to be? And I don't blame the girl. It sucks ass, it's the writing, not the actor's fault, is what I say. But it's like, God damn, dude. At least protest a little. Show some backbone, man. Like, it'd be like, bro, I would be like, I'm not saying that. That sounds stupid as shit.
Show. The Witcher Season 4 is without doubt one of the most wretchedly miserable products of human endeavour that I've ever experienced. A show that somehow combines all the worst aspects of every other terrible sci-fi and fantasy project of the past decade into one horrifying...
Oh, so it became CW's The Flash. Got it.
...congealed mass of shittiness. The laughably bad acting, production design, and 21st century metropolitan diversity of Willow, the hammy writing and overblown melodrama of Rings of Power, the relentless gender and sexual politics of the Acolyte, and the insufferably annoying characters of Peacemaker. And the thing that's worst of all is that it's all hammered home with the dour, self-important seriousness of House of the Dragon, only without any of the intelligence, sharp dialogue, or interesting characters. Basically, what I'm saying with all this shite is that the reality of Witcher Season 4 isn't as bad as we all feared it would be.
It's worse.
Is much worse. yo.
What? Oh, I was about to say, I was about to lose my mind. I saw the knife ears over here, and I saw this dude standing next to her, and I was like, oh god, don't tell me they made an obese elf.
Let's get this pish over with quick so that I can slip into something more comfortable. Like a fucking coma. The story picks up shortly after the events of season 3, where our 3 leads have been split up and separated. Because literally.
Oh yeah, then yeah. I was like, what the fuck happened at the end of season 3? Yeah, I like I said, I stopped watching at season 2, and that just confirms it.
Every person, animal, and object in the Witcher universe is now looking for.
I'm sorry. I just find it funny how when he says object, he switches to Siri. Because women are objects.
Ciri is now on the run with a fake identity, where she's fallen in with this carefully chosen group of, diverse individuals.
Right.
Honestly, this has got to be some kind of piss take, man. How is this show even real? The only thing that's missing is a guy in a wheelchair to turn it into a poster for modern day Dungeons and Dragons. We're all just living our truth, you guys.
Fucking medieval wooden wheelchair.
Anyway, these are the rats, and they survive by stealing food and money from hard-working, law-abiding citizens, which is perfectly fine according to the rules of modern.
So it's literally just it's literally just Robin Hood. So they just become a Robin Hood stereotype. Got it.
Right, and as long as you're poor and diverse. And Ciri soon starts a relationship with whoever the fuck this girl is.
Because why not?
Ciri's gay, by the way.
Why wouldn't she be?
Oh my goodness.
Why? Just why? Why? I immediately saw that weird shit with the lips, and I'm like, with her touching her lips, and I was just like, why? Who asked for this? Genuinely. Is this even in the actual books? Like, point me to where Ciri has a lesbian love interest in the books, and I'll shut up. But until that happens, why? Why do you need this? Unless this is actually something that happened in the books, why include this? Why make Ciri all of a sudden a lesbian if she never was one? And why does there need to be this sexual tension between the characters in a fucking fantasy action show? It's like, bro, this isn't fucking Game of Thrones. The Witcher. We want to see Geralt fighting monsters, not Ciri contemplating her sexuality.
This turn of events in a modern fantasy show. Joking aside, if I was a young woman who had the misfortune of watching a show like this, I'd actually feel pretty uncomfortable with these weirdo Hollywood writers and their.
Bro, I feel uncomfortable right now, and I'm a grown-ass adult. Like, bruh. I'm uncomfortable. Jesus, like, bro, genuinely. Normally, I don't mind watching women kiss and shit, you know, especially in adult fucking films on specific websites, you know, that may be requiring age verification soon. I don't mind that, but it's like, bro, it just feels so out of place here, so like forced and unnecessary.
Absolute obsession with lesbian.
Like, why'd we go from season 1 and 2 of like it being this action journey to now, oh, Ciri is kissing another woman because she's a lesbian now because Netflix, yay.
I feel pretty uncomfortable with these weirdo Hollywood writers and their absolute obsession with lesbian relationships. Like every same-sex friendship I form is somehow expected to lead to scissoring because that's just the progressive thing to do. Anyway, whatever. The second major plot thread follows Yennefer, who's busy girl-bossing her way through the world so that she can gather an army to take down evil magician guy who's now assumed control of the Brotherhood of Mages. I love how this sorcerer, who's never been a physical powerhouse in her life and relies entirely on her magic to defend herself, is now easily able to take down knights in full battle armor because modern day writing, I guess.
Yeah, by the way, these knights are supposed to be trained, aren't they? Are they supposed to be like quite literally well trained in like hand-to-hand combat, why isn't she using magic? Why is it hand-to-hand combat, and why is she suddenly, with zero experience in hand-to-hand combat, mind you, kicking a knight's ass? Like shit. Like, even to become a knight alone, it's a process, and you have to prove your skills to achieve that title, to go from a squire to a knight. How the fuck are you a knight and you're getting your ass beat by a woman who's never lifted a sword in her life and doesn't even swing it correctly? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. The fucking eyes on
She's
Frodo.
also on the hunt for Ciri, because of course she is, because Ciri being missing and everyone desperately needing to find her is literally the plot for every single season of this fucking show. And she's not
Right.
the only one looking for her, because Emperor Emir realizes the Ciri he's been given is actually a fake Ciri, and his plans to father a child of the Elder Blood with her, yes, this really is a plot point, aren't gonna work until he
Okay, cool. So scratch that comment I made about this not being Game of Thrones, because it just became Game of Thrones. Yay, incest.
finds the real one. Oh yeah, and Geralt's in the show as well.
I forgot about Geralt.
Anyway, moving on. You know how one of the big criticisms of The Witcher, especially as the narrative progressed into Season 3, was that Geralt was basically relegated to a background character in his own show in favour of the twin rulers of Girlboss Mountain, Yennefer and Ciri? Well, strap in, because Season 4 is going to give you even more girl bosses. And maybe once in
Well,
a
yeah, I mean, the thing is, you can make the argument that maybe they're doing this because they switched the actor and they want people to get used to new Geralt slowly but surely, instead of it feeling like, oh, they're doing all these fight scenes with Geralt to force it down your throat that it's no longer Henry Cavill, but one of the Hemsworth brothers that's playing Geralt now. They could make the argument about that and being like, that's why we're not showing Geralt as much. But at the end of the day, this is The Witcher, and this is supposed to be a show about Geralt of Rivia. And you're delegating him to now not even being a background character, but being a background to the background character. You've essentially made him less important than fucking Yaskir in this show. Let's not get into the fact that they dumbed down Yaskir. I still love Yaskir. Yaskir's fucking great. I know some people don't like his character because they dumbed him down and now he's just like a literal just walking buffoon, as opposed to how he is in the books and in the game. But it's like, bro, they've made Geralt quite literally worse than TV Yaskir, and it's quite sad.
While Geralt might be allowed to take part in some irrelevant fight scene, saving an innocent woman from some bandits, or saving more innocent women from being burned as witches, are you spotting a theme here? All while pining for Ciri and Yennefer, of course. Holy
All he's doing is saving women, that misogynist. Don't he know that those women he saved are girl bosses and they could have easily gotten themselves out of those situations by themselves without the help of snaps finger, no man?
Holy shit, man. Henry Cavill must be laughing his ass off. I mean, no wonder he bailed on this show. The writers seem to resent Geralt's very existence in the story and do everything they can to break him down and keep him sidelines. You've really got to feel bad for Liam Hemsworth. I mean, I'm sure the money was good and all, but let's be honest here, this role isn't going to do his career any-
I don't really feel bad for him, mostly because I think he doubled down on why people didn't like it and started doing the typical blaming and attacking the fans shit on social media for why it wasn't well received, instead of just being like, yeah, I get it, you guys are used to seeing Henry, and seeing my face is a drastic change. I understand. It'll take some getting used to, and some of you might never get used to it. And I know that I have some like big boots to fill. But I will try my best to be the Witcher that I know Henry would want me to be. Something like that, But I think instead he like doubled down. typical response from Hollywood when a project of theirs fails. don't question if maybe it was them or the production or the writing. No, blame the
Any
fans.
favours. He was handed an absolute poison chalice with this one, given the thankless task of filling Cavill's boots with a writing team that clearly see him as surplus to requirements anyway. He spends the first few episodes basically in a holding pattern, doing nothing of any real significance, while the writing team lavish the bulk of the plot-moving events on other, more important characters. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like
Did his sword get downgraded in this season? Am I losing my mind, or does his sword look worse in this season than it did in the first season? Why does his sword look like it's a 3D printed plastic mold? Hell, it looks almost AI. Like, it looks like the blade is melting into the hilt, is melding with the hilt. Like, what the fuck?
other, more important characters.
Like, I get it's supposed to be his silver blade, you know, so it's for killing monsters and shit. But it's like, it doesn't even look like an actual sword. It looks like a giant fucking plastic cross that he's swinging around, not gonna lie.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like Hemsworth distinguishes himself with his performance either. His take on Geralt is more flaccid than a male feminist in front of a Sydney Sweeney poster,
Right.
and it just emphasises how much
Alright, well, that explains why he crashed out, because his acting was shit.
heavy lifting Cavill was doing in a show that didn't even appreciate him. Yaski is still an insufferable prick that makes me want to grab a power drill and perform a frontal lobotomy on myself every single time he opens his retarded mouth. The guy flounces through every scene with the exaggerated
Well, I guess that's the difference. I guess people expect Yaskier to be like the serious character, but I go in with the premise of like, oh, he's the bard. He's the silly, goofy bard. Like, I go in with the understanding of like, or with the mentality of like, well, I only know bards from D&D, and bards from D&D are goofy and horny as shit. And Yaskier is acting just like that, so, and he's a bard, so he's acting like a bard should act. So I just saw him as like a comedy relief character, like a, you know, like that character there to get punched when tensions get serious just for shits and giggles, you know? So yeah. But it's like, but I understand it if you've like read the books and you've played the game, you know how Yaskier actually is. And then you see him compared to the TV version, the Netflix version, and you're just like, why? What did look at how they massacred my boy?
flamboyance of a 1980s action flick's idea of what a gay man should act like. The rats are a bunch of absolute wankers as well, nothing but a series of stereotypes and cardboard cutouts masquerading as characters. Not a single one of them can fucking act to save their lives, and they all talk and act like they just walked in off the street from 2025. I can't
Jesus.
emphasize enough how much shit like this completely destroys any sense of immersion in the show. Even in the later seasons when the writing fell
Yeah, the black girl came in, came through the, it was like, damn shorty, you fine. You look like you'd make a fine ass snow bunny. To Siri.
off a cliff, Game of Thrones at least still looked and felt like a believable fantasy world. The Witcher feels more like an SNL
Yeah, with the Starbucks cup on the table.
skit filmed in any vaguely old buildings the production could find, with medieval costumes ordered direct from Temu, only there's no punchline to any of the jokes. I honestly don't know how a show that costs hundreds of millions of dollars ended up looking and feeling so fucking cheap, but somehow Netflix managed it. Aside from that, all the usual problems that have
I'll tell you why, because the money primarily went to casting and writing, and they didn't really give all that much to production and like costume design and all that stuff. It like went to everything else except the thing that people are gonna look at, you know? That's essentially how I could describe it. It's like all their money went to like the back end. It's like it's like they built a house but spent all their money on the foundation and the structural beams of the house, and cheaped out on on the wood finish that builds the actual house. Like they cheaped out on like the plywood and the screws and the nails, and so the house ends up looking like shit, but it has a good structural integrity because the foundation and the fucking and the like the structural and the fucking skeleton of the house, I guess, is really solid.
Dogged The Witcher since the very beginning are present and correct here, only worse. The convoluted, overarching storyline that's trying to juggle way more factions and characters than the writing team could possibly handle. The hammy performances by actors who look like they're dying from terminal cringe that make Xena Warrior Princess look like Lord of the Rings in comparison. The complete lack of geographical understanding.
Bro, what the fuck did Zeta do to you to receive fucking this type of hate, bro? Zeta's great, man. What do you mean?
That's only made worse by every single village, town, and city looking like every other because apparently medieval fantasy lands have to reflect the world we live in today. In fact, the problems become so laughably bad that not only does every location in The Witcher look like every other, but The Witcher itself looks like every other generic fantasy.
Wait, what the fuck? Are all these shots from The Witcher? They can't be, right? I know the top left is. I feel like the bottom left is also a scene from The Witcher. But I don't think the top right is. I think the top right is like a scene from a different show or movie.
Show that's been made in the past 5 years. It's like if fantasy was manufactured by IKEA. And of course, there's the never-ending push to make every female character into a powerful, all-conquering girl boss that has to be the center of everything, who's only—
Like I said, remember when I said all the money went towards the writing and the cast? This is what I mean. He said that they have so many characters it feels over bloated, and now you have this. And now you have to pay those cast members something. So guess what? You have to pull out of the budget for like costume design and like the set.
the weakness is the men around them holding them back from true greatness. Hate to be the one to point this out, guys, but the majority of your target audience for a show like this is men, and if this is the best you can offer them, well, don't be surprised if they check the fuck out. The Witcher really did have everything in place to be the next Game of Thrones. The resources, the actors, the IP, and the baked-in fan base. It could have been the definitive fantasy show that would dominate TV for the next decade and probably spawn an entire extended universe of spin-off shows. All they had to do was stay faithful to the source material and not bastardize it in the name of pandering to modern audiences. And well, they failed. Big time. As Nerdrotic—
Bro, dude, Netflix and trying not to pander to the modern audience, Mission Impossible, dude. I swear. It's like fucking Antifa trying not to show up to ICE detention facility in a liberal city challenge impossible because you know they'll show up. So it's like, bro, you're asking too much of these people, man. Like, dog. It's like asking a fucking a VTuber, a popular female VTuber, to not open a fansly. It's like it's impossible. They'll inevitably do it. You know, it'll eventually happen. Just like how every hot tubs and pool streamers has a female has an OnlyFans. It'll inevitably happen. Even if they don't start off with one, they'll get there. Mission Impossible.
once pointed out,
Or rather, Challenge Impossible.
if you play social justice games, then you win social justice prizes. And truly, Lauren Histrich and her team of retards have played the biggest social justice game of them all, with hundreds of millions of dollars of other people's money and a beloved IP that she didn't have a hand in creating. And her prize? A show that nobody fucking wants. So I'm gonna say what I said about Kathleen Kennedy when the dust settled from the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I hope it was all worth it. I hope you feel real good about yourself when this is all over, because you're gonna be remembered as the showrunner who fumbled the biggest layup of all time. Anyway,
Yep.
that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
What the fuck is this? leaflet video. But yeah, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I generally don't understand. Like, it also doesn't make sense to me because they said, oh, because fans said Henry Cavill is leaving. We're not gonna watch this. You might as well not. You might as well just cancel the rest of the seasons. And they opted to not listen to the people who were telling them in mass majority that they were gonna not watch the show and that they were going to drop it because Henry Cavill was leaving the show. And the only reason they were watching it was for Henry Cavill. So I genuinely don't understand why they actually went through and released the 4th season. Even if they were mid-production of the 4th season and like had and like, you know, would have had to like cancel everything. I would have rather they do that and figured out something else than them have released this slop and ruined The Witcher, essentially driving it even further downhill. But it is what it is, you know, at the end of the day. They'll lose money, we will waste our time watching it, and we'll go on with our lives, and they'll cry about it on the internet. So yeah. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did. And I'll catch you in the next one. And if you made it this far into the video, I've been doing something goofy. Let me know if you spot the Space King coagulator in the thumbnail. Down in the comments if you made it this far. If you like noticed it. So like a little Where's Waldo? But yeah, later.